Hi guys, welcome back. So for this look we're starting off with a clean face and we're putting primer on. This is the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer and we're popping about a pea-sized amount, slightly more, and we're rubbing it all over our face just with our fingers. And you want to make sure and prime for this look because it is going to be a really bold, really makeup heavy look. So you want to prime to help the makeup go on better and last better. So I'm going with the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation in Ivory and the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation in number 2. These are really pale foundations, you know, for when I'm not wearing tan and in the winter time when I have like no colour in my skin. I'm just popping these onto a mixing palette, like so, and using a flat top stippling brush to first mix them together on the mixing palette and then pop it onto my skin. I'm using pressing motions at first to get it sort of all around your skin. Don't forget to go over your lips, don't worry about going over your eyebrows, we'll draw those back in later, and over your ears too, to help with the illusion if your ears are the same colour as the rest of you. My ears are quite red too anyway. And I'm taking that on down my face, onto my neck and onto my chest a bit as well because of the outfit I'm wearing. Using a damp beauty blender, and I think I've blended the makeup in with the beauty blender to start with before I've done this, but I cut it out. And going in with the Collection Concealer in number 1 Fair. It's a very, very light but heavy coverage concealer. It's really cheap too. And really going ham with this, really using a lot of it in the usual places but using more product than you normally would because you're just giving the coverage that you're putting on your skin that extra boost. Because you want this to be a really opaque foundation to work with. I'm popping some on my eyelids as well just to use as a base for the eye makeup. And again, using your damp beauty blending sponge to blend that out. And make sure when you're blending out that you are using patting motions rather than swiping motions, because you will move the product away from the spot on your skin where you put it and you will lose the coverage there that you've put down. So use patting motions rather than swiping motions. And remember to do around your ears and down onto your neck as well whenever you're blending. I'm going to apologise for my voice, I'm full of the cold right now, but this video has been sitting on my hard drive for a week and I wanted to get it out to you guys. So using talcum powder or whatever baking powder you would like to use for your face, and being very generous with this, we actually are going to bake instead of just setting the makeup. We're going to bake it for sort of longevity. So just under the eyes, forehead and nose at the moment, and then we're going in with a cool toned brown colour to do our contour. I'm going for a really bold contour and bringing that right down to your jawbone as well, because you really want to carve out the cheeks and sort of give that gaunt, undead look to your face. And then just make sure and blend that as you're going as well. And the same on the other side of your face too. And then we're going to go around the perimeters of our face, around the edges of our forehead and our temples. And again, this just helps with the gaunt sort of look that we're going for as, you know, an undead. And the cool tone is a good idea as well, because you're not trying to put colour back into your face, you're just putting dimension back into your face. It would be the same if you were doing normal makeup on a very light skin tone person. You'd want to use a cool toned, and that makes them look contoured rather than orange. So going with a fluffy flat top brush and using this to contour our nose, and I did a really strong contour on my nose as well and took it right up into my brows. And then put baking powder under my contour just to help sharpen up the contour on my cheekbones. I went back in with a clean fluffy brush and blended out my nose contour, and then I went back in with a setting powder and did the centre of my nose and the sides of my nose just to sharpen everything up and keep your contour sort of in the area that want it. So taking a fluffy blending brush, so this is for round 1, the same grey tone brown colour, and just putting the shade back into our eyelids by going into the crease. And this just sort of deepens up the look of your eye socket as well, which you would have that sort of sunken look. And don't forget to go underneath your eyes as well. This just, it acts as a transition colour as well as like a contour for your eyes. Going in with another, it's a packing brush and the black, and I'm popping that on my eyelid. It didn't go on very strongly to start with, so I had to go back in. And you're sort of pressing this on as you go as well, you're not sort of swiping, you're pressing. Just to keep the colour in place. I just did this on my eyelid on both sides. Black is notoriously hard to blend out, so we're going to take a fluffy brush and like a reddy brown toned colour, and we're going to use that in the crease to just blend out the black into the crease. And you'd do this even if you weren't doing like a costume makeup, you'd use a warmer brown tone, browny red tone colour to blend out black, because black just doesn't blend out very well for some reason. Into sort of lighter oranges as I went further up the lid. I went into lighter colours just to help that blend. And the red tone colours as well I thought would be good to sort of help with the illusion of the kind of eye bags and the undead look. And I brought that down the sort of sides of my nose as well a little bit. I'm using the same colours under your eyes, apart from the black at this point. You're just using the sort of dark red tones and then the lighter ones. And really, you know, don't be afraid to blow out the underneath of your eye, because again, you're not going for perfection per se here, you're going for a glamorous vampire, but you know, they'd still have quite dark under eyes. And just, if in doubt, just keep blending, really. That's what it comes down to. Just keep going until you're happy with that. And you can brush away the fallout, that's why we powder. Keep powder under your eyes for the fallout, and then use a big fluffy brush to sweep it away, and voila, no problem with fallout. So I'm leaving the big under the jaw contour at the moment. I didn't like the black at that point, I didn't think it had gone on terribly dark, so I used a felt tip liner and put it quite roughly onto just my lid area, and then went back over it with black shadow to darken it up, because I felt like I wanted that black darker. If you're doing a black themed look, you kind of want the black to be a bit more standout, don't you? So again, going back in with a sort of packing brush for this, over just where you've put the eyeliner. You can use like a creamy crayon eyeliner as well, it blends out a bit better than a liquid liner, but that was just what I had to hand to darken it up. In with a different fluffy brush that I was using for the brown colours. Yeah, back into the orangey brown tone colours, just to help blend that out again, make it all quite just nice and seamless. Excuse my watery eyes. I think I've flicked a good amount of eyeshadow into them at this point. I don't know why I showed you concealer, I really don't. I'm going in to do brows now. So taking an angled brush and a dark grey toned brown from that same September Rose palette, and just going and doing your brows. So go underneath the line of your brow first, and then darken up the tail and the middle section, and let the product sort of run out on your brush before you go to the front of your brow at the top end of it. Just helps give that nice gradient to the front of your brow. Make it look a bit more fluffy. You could do it really bold and really, you know, just strong and drawn on if you wanted to. I still wanted to keep it quite a beauty look, you know, not just a bold, you know, in your face look, although it is pretty much that as well, but I still wanted nice brows. Now going for concealer, and we're going to use this to carve out the brows. So I just pop that onto the mixing palette. It makes it easier to get at with the brush to clean up your brows. And I felt, you know, now that I'd blown out the smokiness around my eyes, I wanted there to be a bit of definition between that and the brows too, so this just helps with that, as well as, you know, it's a good thing to use to fix the shape as well. If you've made a couple of little mistakes, using the concealer to carve out your brows allows you to fix maybe some little mistakes you've made in the shape as well. So I used that to kind of straighten out the tail of my brows, give the arch more of a point as well. I wanted it quite an angular brow look for this. Just going around the bottom first, then across the top. Do the same on both sides. Picking up more on your brush if you need to. And don't forget that the middle sections as well, you don't really want to look like you've got a monobrow. So I'm using a small little fluffy brush to blend out the concealer at this point. To the Collection Contour Blush and Highlight Palette, and I'm using the highlight in it because it's a nice silvery white toned one. Taking a small brush and going under the brow with that. Normally you would just do the sort of arch of your brow, but I wanted to do basically where I'd carved it out to make it really stand out. Taking a normal highlight brush as well, just a fluffy brush, I pretty much put the highlight everywhere. I wanted this to look really sort of glowy and ethereal, as well as being like a dark, bold look. I wanted the sort of, where you could see the sort of lighter parts of the skin, I wanted it to be very highlight, very glowy. So I went around the sides of my temples, at the tops of my cheekbones. I brought it right down basically to my nose as well, and I did my nose and chin and forehead. And now just taking some more of those kind of warmer tone colours under my eyes, and just making sure the blend's nice as well, because normally you would do your brows and conceal them before you do your eye makeup, and I did it the other way around in this case. So go back in and sort of touch up anything that you want to touch up eyeshadow wise. And I took a very metallic shade from the September Rose palette that I'll show you in a minute, and did my Cupid's bow on my nose to brighten those up. I tried to do my inner corner. I don't know why I tried to do my inner corners at this point, because there was too much kind of dark colour on them, so it didn't really work. But I tried to do it anyway. And I took a really warm red copper, metallic colour from that palette, and just popped it in the centre of my lid because I felt like I wanted some extra dimension there. Just doing that, and then I took a brush and some of the black, and I went in the inner and outer corners just to darken that back up again, round where I'd put the coppery colour. I'm now taking a little small brush and using this just really close to your lash line underneath your eye, and you're going in with the black then underneath your eye. At this, I wouldn't have wiped off my powder earlier if I'd known I was going to go back in with the black, because again, you want to kind of avoid fallout where possible, or just be prepared to deal with fallout, so the powder under your eyes really helps with that. So I would advise you to leave the powder on to catch the fallout until you're sure, that absolutely certain that you're done with your eyeshadow. Especially using a dark eye look like this, if you're doing a smoky eye, you definitely want to keep your powder on until you've finished with your eyes basically. So brushing off the setting powder that you used to bake underneath your contour and sharpen it up, and I'm going in with a liquid liner and putting on a very quick wing. You're not going to really see it that much with the black eyeshadow, but I just wanted to darken up my lash line because I have blonde lashes, so I wanted to make sure the lash line was nice and dark. You could tightline as well if you wanted a really dark lash line. I'm not particularly good at it, and I knew I'd be putting contacts in, so I didn't think tightlining and irritating my eyes was a really good idea when I was going to irritate them enough with contacts. I don't usually wear contacts, so I'm not very good at having them in. So using the felt tip liner for my lips, I'm going in with the black here, and you're going in very slowly and carefully if you're using dark colours, especially black. And be prepared to use lots of oil-based cleanser, in my case baby oil, to take all this crap off again. Baby oil is brilliant at taking off hardcore makeup. Pretty much will take off anything. So I kind of dived off all out of frame for a lot of this, so I've sped it up and I've kind of cut out bits where I wasn't even in frame and you couldn't see me, but take your time, just be careful about it. And I did quite a thick lip line in this case because I wanted it to be easier then when I put the lipstick on. And also doing a thick lip line helps your lipstick last longer, gives you more coverage on your lips. So I went back in with a liquid liner because I wanted the lines to be sharper, and used that around the edges just, and then used it across sort of the body of my lips as well to darken those up before putting my liquid lipstick on. That's me going across the body of my lips now to darken those up. And I brought my the V for my Cupid's bow down really low in this because I again wanted it to be really dramatic and sharp. So just going in with the Jeffree Star Weirdo lipstick. It's a black liquid lipstick, it's really long lasting, it can be quite drying, but your focus probably when you're doing costume makeup or night out makeup will be, you know, longevity rather than comfort in some cases. So going back in with concealer on your little sort of flat-edged angle brush just to clean up the lip lines there and sharpen it up. Helps you fix any mistakes that you've made as well. I'm really sorry about my voice, guys. I'm struggling today. I sound a lot worse than I am, but I'm struggling. So here I've went away and popped my contacts in, and I'm going in with mascara and really putting on a lot of mascara. And again, I was diving out of frame with this as well, so I've trimmed it down a good bit, but mascara on your top and bottom lashes. And then I went in with a lip stain crayon that I have just from Primark. I've had it for a while, and used the nice fine edge of it to sort of draw veins coming down from the bottom of my eyes. And the red contrasts really nicely on the white skin and with the black eyeshadow. And the contacts, I just love those contacts. My husband hates when I stick those contacts in, they really freak him out, but I think they really make the look, they really just make it. So putting some of that under my eyes as well. I don't know if it's eye safe, you know, if you're not sure and you have sensitive skin, don't use stuff around your eyes, it's not meant for around your eyes, but I thought I'd probably be okay, so I went ahead and did it. And then go back over the top with what's left on your beauty blender. It makes the veins look like they're under your skin instead of on top of your skin. And taking the talcum powder and just popping it all over my neck and chest where we stuck some of the foundation earlier, because I've changed into the dress that I would wear for this costume. It's got a really deep V, so you want to make sure you've done your chest and probably your shoulders as well. And I'm taking the contour and pushing my shoulders forward so that I can see where the dark points around my collarbone and my neck tendons are. So just darken up the bits that are dark and make them look darker. It'll help with that sort of gaunt look. Make sure you do the column of your throat. I darkened up my jaw contour at this point to fit in with the sharp contour on my face. And then I went in with the, oh no, I did my boobs as well, because they, you know, if your boobs are out you might as well contour them and enhance them. And then I went in with the Technique highlighter. It's a nice white tone silvery highlight, and just brought the high points forward, so on my collarbones and down the sides of the column of my neck. And yeah, why not do the boobs too? So I dived out there to grab my wig. And when you're putting a wig on, go from front to back. It helps keep all your hair out of the way. So I was just sorting out my straps to the tightness I needed. Front to back, tuck everything in, and then you gently fling it back. And then you adjust it to sort of for your comfort and for how you want it to sit on your head. My head's quite small, so I have problems with the ones that go around your ears and stuff, but and this was a wig I got off eBay. It was only about 10 or 12 pounds, so I don't know if it's rated for using, you know, straighteners or curling tongs on it, but it comes already curly. And just arrange it how you want it to sit. I went back in with some of the highlight just in the centre of my lips. And then I had made some fake blood just out of lube and food colouring. and I used a straw just to place that onto the edges of my mouth. Now, it was really cheap lube from Savers that I used, and it worked really well because it was really elastic. So, you know, it did drip whenever it was on your skin, but it only dripped quite slowly and not that far, and then it did leave a nice dark residue, so it did look pretty good. It's the first time I've made any of my own fake blood as well, so I was quite impressed with myself, I'm not gonna lie. So just pop that on where you want it. I just wanted it sort of the size of my mouse because this was a more glam version of Vampire. I'm gonna do another kind of more scary Vampire version later on. But I really enjoyed doing this makeup look. I thought it turned out really well. I'm going to pop some pictures here at the end because I forgot to do an outro or intro with all the makeup and everything on. So I'll pop a few pictures here for you, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Remember to turn the notifications on. Please share it with anyone else you think might enjoy it or might enjoy my channel at all. And just, yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Thank you.